What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 10th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Trying something new with the lighting. So if you're watching on YouTube, give me a comment and see. I've noticed that when I move certain ways, the light was fading in and out. So I'm trying something with where I have some lights situated. So let me know if you notice a difference or I'm just going crazy. But before we get into anything today, I wanted to take a minute and wish all the nurses out there and all the teachers out there a happy Teacher and Nurse Appreciation Week. I appreciate all you do. Both professions obviously are very close to my heart. My wife Abby is a nurse who went through it during COVID. I'm a former teacher as an assistant principal now, so I very much respect teachers and everything they do as well. And it's just kind of BS that two of the most underrated shit on professions there are in the world have their appreciation the same week. They couldn't even give them separate weeks. So that's my little rant. If you know a teacher, have a teacher, know a nurse, live with a nurse, ever visit a nurse, be sure to reach out to them and tell them you appreciate them. And especially this week, but any week, it's absolute bullshit that it's the same week. But that's my little rant for today. All right, couple quick updates. The NFL schedule is going to be released on Thursday, and it's always funny how the NFL is able to just completely turn anything into an event. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but we'll have more on that on the pods once the Eagles schedule is released. There are a couple little things that did come out. It looks like they may be playing the Black Friday game against the Giants, but we don't know where yet, whether it's going to be in New York or Philly. Jason Kelsey's mom may have leaked that second week of the season the Eagles will be traveling to Kansas City, so we'll have to see about that as well. But always a big deal when the NFL schedule drops, because then we get to go and pick, oh, I think they're going to go with this. The Eagles do seem to have a tough schedule this year. So all the people last year that bitched and whined and complained about how easy the schedule was, we have a better team and a harder schedule. So there you go. Union update, they had played to a 3-3 draw last night versus Minnesota. They got the point, moved on. I know their season goes throughout the summer, so hopefully they are able to start making a move now. Great win for the Phillies yesterday, 8-4 over the Blue Jays. Nola went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 6 Ks. Castellanos has been lights out, and we said that he needs to be the one. So all the other guys are going to start getting there. Once Bryce gets his legs under him, he's going to be there too. So Castellanos went 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, a homer, and a double. Things are starting to quietly after that tough road trip and then the beginning of that homestand, they quietly put together a couple wins in a row now. I want to see what they do today. Wheeler's on the mound looking for the quick 2-game sweep of the Blue Jays. But as Charlie used to say, the weather's starting to get warm. It's going to be hitting season. Another news for the Phils, it was leaked that, or I don't know if it was leaked, but the reports are that they might be playing next year in London against the Mets, which I think would be pretty cool. We might lose 3 home games, whatever it is, but still, I like when they do things like that. So just something to think about moving forward for next year. Obviously, though, the big story was that dominant performance by the Sixers last night. 115-103 in a game that was definitely not that close. At one point, they were up 21, and the only reason it got close was because the bench sort of played a little sloppy there at the end. But I said going into it, the Celtics have had trouble in the third home game of a series, and that's dating back 3-4 games or 3 straight playoffs. Like, they haven't won a third home game of a series since like 2018. Joe was just the MVP. There's no other way to do it. Maxey played out of his mind, and that's what, if he's going to continue to be able to play like that on a more consistent basis, this team is unstoppable. I've said it all year. When they're hitting on all cylinders like they were last night, nobody can beat them. I don't care who it is. Harden didn't score 40, but he didn't have to. He was a facilitator, scored when he needed to. That's Obviously, you'll take the 40-point James Harden whenever you can, but that is the James Harden where he is in his career. That's how he needs to be every night. He was aggressive. He was that. Everybody played well, though. Like Toby played well, but got into foul trouble. The guys on the bench came in and did what they had to do. It was just, there's something special about this team. I've alluded to it earlier this month, but I'm not quite ready to go there yet because I was nervous as hell all through that game. And I know I've talked so much about new Philly. I definitely had old Philly moments last night where I'm just like, all right, I'm just waiting. But the great thing was that the Celtics have been, especially since Joe has been there, has been their nemesis. And the fact that every time the Celtics made a run, the Sixers were able to answer and stop the bleeding immediately. That's what we need. And I think somehow they've exercised those demons and not are starting to exercise the demons. And I'm being very cautious with how I say this. But I mean, every time it looked like the Celtics were going to make a run, boom, something happened. The Sixers came back, hit a big shot, made a big defensive stop. And if they're going to play like that, like I said, there's nobody's going to be able to beat them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Celtics are going to come out and win games. I don't know, man. I think that crowd is going to be rocking tomorrow night. I think the Sixers are just going to ride this momentum and go. Like I know it's early. I know I'm probably just still fired up from yesterday, but I don't know. I think they close it out tomorrow night as of right now. I'll think about it more today, and I'll have more on it for you guys tomorrow, but I don't know. I think they're just going to come out and ride that momentum. One thing I did want to point out, and this is not me being the bitter Philly fan blaming refs for this or that, but let me know in comments, reach out to me. What's the deal with Tatum and Brown with their push-offs? Like, I feel like every time they're driving, they're pushing off, and I don't know. And I see Harden do it somewhat, and it doesn't get called. But I feel like Brown and Tatum are doing it way more than anybody else. Also, what the hell is up with Marcus Smart? I said before this series started, he's one of those guys that just is annoying, but if he was on my team, he's out there playing reckless. And I know that's part of his game, but let me know what you think about that. Am I just being Mr. Sixer? Let me know. But great win for the Sixers. I will take it. And as of now, I'm leaning toward a win tomorrow night. All right, today, we're going to go way, way, way back to 1895. And on this date, May 10th, 1895, the Phillies won 14-4 over the St. Louis Browns. Sam Thompson hit a home run to become the third major league player in Major League Baseball history to hit 100 home runs. So think about that. In 1895, Sam Thompson, who was kind of like the OG power hitter of the day, like he was Babe Ruth before Babe Ruth, became the third player to hit 100 home runs. Today, there's 4 players that have 700, just to put that in perspective. But like I said, he was an OG. He finished his career with 126 home runs, hit 331. He led the league in homers 2 times, RBI 3 times. And this was like the pre-modern day era anyway, so they said the dead ball era. But he is a Hall of Famer. Was elected in 1974. He's on the Phillies Wall of Fame. He also was the first major league player to be the first major league 20-for-20 player. 20 stolen bases, or 20 home runs, 24 stolen bases back in 1889. So on this day, Sam Thompson became the third major league player to hit 100 career home runs. All right, Sixers playoff spotlight, 1969, 1970. They went 42-40, were 4th in the division. Billy Cunningham led the team in scoring with 26.1 points per game and 13.6 rebounds per game. Hal Greer was a 5.1 assists per game. Cunningham was the NBA first team, all NBA first team, and he was an all-star in a game that was played at the Spectrum in Philly. They did lose to the Bucks 4-1 in the division semifinals, and this kind of started the downward spiral of that team. They were 3 seasons removed from winning the NBA championship, and they were only 3 seasons away from that 9-73 season. But the 1969-70 Sixers went 42-40, finished 4th in the division. On this day in 1895, Sam Thompson became the third player to hit 100 career home runs. Go Sixers! This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go hug a nurse and a teacher. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.